Hello, welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski, and with me,
Ron Corbin.
Ron Corbin, our brand new city manager. This is your fourth week now, isn't it?
It is, beginning of the fourth week.
Yeah, very good.
Almost a month underneath my belt.
Awesome. So we're going to just take the half hour here and get to know our new city manager. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, let us know where you came from.
All right, I joined a few weeks ago. I come from Yuma, Arizona, where I've lived for almost 19 years. I was recently the deputy city administrator. Served there at the city of Yuma. Started out as their HR director, ended up being their interim IT director, and then got promoted up to the deputy city administrator there. Worked for Greg Wilkinson, a wonderful city administrator down there. Before that, I worked in Verde Valley as HR director for a little while. Yuma County, where I was their deputy HR director for Yuma County. Worked in the courts there for a little while under the Honorable Andy Gould, who's now on the Arizona Supreme Court. Wonderful guy there that got me started in public sector. Great guy. Before that, I've done all sorts of things. I've been a Border Patrol agent. I've been a school teacher, middle school, 7th grade physical science teacher. I was an Army vet. Did some years in the Army as a medic. Enjoyed that. That's where I met my wife, who I've now met her on a blind date, and we have been married now 26 years.
Wow.
Long time.
Blind date. I didn't know that happened.
Blind date. A mutual friend set us up. She turned me down 3 times after that blind date for a second date, but I'm persistent. And 26 plus years later, here we are. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. So your first stint in public service then was with Yuma County?
Yeah, it was with Yuma County, the Superior Court. I was their HR manager there for the court. I was the first HR manager that they had. It was new to them, so I came in as their HR guy and helped them get moving in human resources. Yeah. They had previously relied on the county and some managers to handle it, and I came in and helped them out.
Awesome. So obviously I'm familiar with your background, your resume, but with a background as diverse as yours, I think you could have gone anywhere in your career. I'm curious why public service? What is it about public service that appeals to you?
I like helping and giving back. And one of the neat things about public sector is we work for the people. We're accountable to the people, to the taxpayers, to our residents, to our non-residents using our services. And I really feel like we can make a difference. And that's probably my HR background. But I really think that us, more than any other level of government, affect the people around us every day. I hear things, government shouldn't be in parks and recreation. Well, when they're saying that, they're talking about the federal government. They're talking about some of the other stuff. That is what we do. Quality of life is what public municipal government does. We do public safety. We do, whether it be police or fire, water, wastewater, but we also get to do the fun stuff. We get to do Parks and Rec. And, my kids, now all grown, came up through Parks and Rec, soccer and swimming and all that stuff. And city government has a direct impact on that, on how well the parks are run, how green the grass is. People don't think about that, but you make decisions like that on a daily basis. How many days of the week the fields are open, trying to find practice time. I coached my kids' soccer team for years. And I realized as I was doing all of that there's this government, this group of people that I thought, especially where I came from in Yuma, that made it a great place to raise kids. And I just love being a part of that.
Great. Well, good. I think you'll find a lot of that up here, too.
Oh, I love it. So this weekend, my daughter was up from Arkansas and my grandson, and I went to the rec center for a little while, and coming out early in the morning, and there at the Garrison Park, all the swings are going, all the swing sets, the kids are playing. It's a little chilly for me being from Yuma, but it was just, I love seeing 8 o'clock, the kids started coming in and for the basketball at the rec center, and there were parents and adults coming in, and it was just jam-packed. The parking lot was already full when I was leaving, and then you go by the park and you see all the kids playing, and it's just like, I get to be a part of that now, and that is, it was kind of cool, I'm not going to lie, that as a city manager, that I'm going to have a hand in keeping that going and going to the next level.
Fantastic. So when you applied for the position, Did you know anything about Cottonwood before?
I had driven through a couple times.
Okay.
As a matter of fact,
on your way to Sedona, perhaps?
I think actually on our way back from Sedona, one of the day trips, going to Jerome and over to the ruins. We drove there. We may have even bought one of our ATVs right around here, and we picked up on one of our trips to ATV around here. So really, it was just driving through, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
But when I saw the ad and started looking it up and seeing what was going on and how great the little community was, and I think how well the community is doing, I was like, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, great. So you're 4 weeks in, and what are your initial impressions of Cottonwood?
I was at a staff meeting this morning with one of the departments, and they asked me the same thing, and I love it. Yeah. I really do. I think it's in such a great place. I love the old town. I love the field. I get to go outside my office, and I have all that choice of restaurants, and I don't drink at lunch. But after hours, all the wine tasting places and the little shops to go into, and the streets are busy. So again, my daughter was in town, and we were walking down Main Street there, or the Old Town area there, and it was busy, and you could tell there were locals and non-locals, and the restaurants were full, and people were happy, and it just I love it. When I look at the organization itself, I see a great organization. I see a highly qualified and esteemed fire department, police department. We got a great park system going on here. I just see a lot of positive things going on.
Good. Let's take a real quick break for 1 minute, and then we'll come back and continue our conversation. Thanks.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Hello, welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski, and with me is Ron Corbin, our 4-week-old city manager. So we're just having a conversation about some of his background and the reasons why he decided to move up here and take the helm as city manager. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about some of your previous work in Yuma, and kind of with a focus on regionalism. Okay. And what kind of opportunities did you have down there in Yuma to work regionally? Because that's a real important thing up here in the Verde.
Right. Well, we did a lot of outreach, especially to our state legislatures and some of our partners down at the Capitol building. And we were successful in bringing the governor down a few times, so that was kind of nice. But there locally, we had, we were the big city in town, but we worked very well with the county, a great county administrator there, Susan. And of course, San Luis and Somerton and Welton, the other communities. And I thought we did a good job working well together. Our regional metropolitan planning infrastructure system, traffic and those things worked very well together, making sure that the dollars went to address safety concerns on our streets. And we looked at bicycle paths. We looked at those kinds of things on a regional basis to make sure they were interconnected, to make sure that we were working for all of our residents. You know, in Yuma County, the winter visitors doubled the population down there. And very important, they don't just stay in one place. And so very important that we make sure traffic is flowing, make sure that everything is safe. And, we have a great history of working together with the governments, and then with our businesses. The Chamber of Commerce, a great partner down there. John Curtis is running that, a great guy. Water issues, had a big meeting, filled up our chamber, our city council chamber last year, worked very close with our state representatives and senators there on our water and our farmers, and a big military presence there. We've got the Marine base, Air Base, and then we got the Army Proving Grounds out there. Great partners, very military friendly community. It can speak highly of not only the revenue and the benefits they bring into the city, but just the partners they are. Yeah. They're great to work with.
Good. Well, that's good. Yeah, I think you'll find a lot of the same partners up here in this area too. Maybe not so much military partners, but we have state parks and of course our national park here. So
you have a beautiful parks, the state park, right outside or right in the city there, and then federal lands right here. Beautiful. Supervisor Garrison took me on a ride the other day to show me some of the area from Clarkdale up to just outside the city limits, and you need to take time to enjoy the scenery. My daughter, as we were driving around, she's like, "Oh, maybe Arkansas isn't forever," just from the scenery. It's beautiful back there. It's green, but you can't see the mountains or the cliffs in Arkansas from the road. And you just drive around here and you look, and in a minute you're going to have a great view, and in the next minute you're going to have another great view. It's amazing around here.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal place to live.
It is.
Please don't tell too many people though.
Oh, you bet. I'll keep that a secret.
No, it's true. That's one of the better things about the Verde Valley is how diverse it is geographically, and you can, if you want the snow, you can be in the snow within an hour, and like the heat, of course, you can head back down the hill. You can
go back down to Yuma and find some of that heat. There's plenty of it down there.
That's right.
Yeah, my daughter was impressed that there was still snow up on the mountains.
Yep. Yeah. So, like I said, regionalism is important here. I don't know how much time you've had yet to meet with some of the other managers and mayors in the area, but
I've been to a couple meetings. I've got to set up a few more meetings. We have another meeting coming up to look at the workforce housing issue that has made very clear to me since I've gotten here. We had our retreat, and that was a major topic. Regardless of the group of professionals or experts we met with, it seemed to come up in almost every topic was workforce housing being an issue here. Met with the county administrator and some of our other local city administrators or managers, and great group of people.
Yeah, good. Yuma's about 200,000 people, is that right?
Yes.
Now,
the county. The city's about 100,000.
Okay. You said it doubles in the winter. So.
It does. The city gets up over 200,000, or they're close to it. Wow. It can fill up some roads.
Yeah, I bet. So we have somewhat of a similar issue here in Cottonwood when we're 12,500 strong roughly, but we certainly service an area much larger.
I found that interesting. It's of course, not unique to America, but it was unique to me. It was the fact that, we have this group of residents, city residents of about 12,000, but you can't find those boundaries. You go this way and you think you're in the city, and it's not in the city limits. And you're right, it's 40,000, 30 to 40,000 more people that we service, that use our streets and roads and our parks and all the amenities that we offer. It's a unique, but we're sales tax based, so they do contribute to that. It's not like they're outsiders or anything like that. They're all part of our community, and together I think they make it a wonderful place to be. Sometimes I think it's undersold because we think of Cottonwood as 12,000, but really, if you do the numbers, we're not.
Right. Yeah, much larger community.
Yes. Yeah. Represent a lot of people.
Yeah. Are there any other similarities from Yuma to Cottonwood, do you think?
Well, the city government structure, down there we're full service. Here we're full service, fire, water, but there's always a few differences. Like we don't do solid trash here. We did solid trash down there. Transit. Of course, I worked with transit in Verde Valley. They had a very similar system to our transit system here. Other than that, it's great council. You work for elected body, just like down there. But And there's a lot of community pride down in Yuma, and I love Yuma, and you won't catch me bashing it, except for the heat. They earn that. It gets hot down there. But here, there's a lot of civic pride. Your rec center, people take pride in. The parks, people take pride in. People love Cottonwood, and it's noticeable to a newcomer. Right. Then you have some of the same issues. We have road issues down there. We have a few roads that could use a little bit of TLC. Same thing in Yuma, and a lot of it has to do with the same reasons. Right. State issues over the last 15 or so years. Sure.
No, I felt like it would be a good fit to have you on board, because I think Yuma's obviously a much larger city, but many of the same services.
A lot of the same issues, like I said, roads, always wanting better parks. There's just, and better and more services with less resources. That's the name of civil city government.
Yep. So you mentioned that we just got finished with the council strategic retreat.
Yes.
Want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Any surprises?
I was surprised at how well staff and council and everybody worked together. There wasn't a lot of surprises, like outliers on ideas, or people who are thought of something for the first time. Someone would bring up an idea. There's been talk for years about consolidating City Hall services into one location, and I was told through different people I met with as I was looking into this job that was a divisive topic, and be careful. And we found a lot of people agreeing for the need and agreeing that this needed to be looked at. I don't know that there was agreement on necessarily what to do next steps, but there was no bitterness. There was no hard feelings. It was really, council cares about the services we provide to the community at the lowest cost possible. Our staff wants to be able to provide the best customer service possible. There's a lot of belief that, anything we can do to help the Old Town, get even bigger and better. We could use another wine tasting room down there. Anything we can do to get out of the way possibly is a great thing. So I found more cohesiveness than not there. And maybe that shouldn't have surprised me, but given, the information that I had been provided, I was expecting more divisiveness, and I really didn't see it. I saw a group of elected professionals working together, for the good of the community is what I saw. Great.
Is there anything that sticks out from the retreat that you're excited to get to work on?
That there's a lot of work that I need to get started on right away. I'm excited about looking at the consolidated City Hall services. I'm also excited about some of the more civic duties. I think the workforce housing issue, I think that would be a great thing for us to be able to make some gains on. Those are the kinds of things that are hard to do. There is no one silver bullet. There's no one magic that you can do. It really takes everybody working together at looking at different solutions. So I'm pretty excited about taking on those higher callings versus just providing a service. Looking out for those who need a little help, who contribute to the community, and would love to live in the community if they could find affordable housing and make our community that much better.
Right. Great. Okay, I got to cut you off there. We're going to take another quick 1-minute break and be right back. Thanks.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski. With me is Ron Corbin, again, our 4-week-old city manager.
I'm experienced now.
Yep, fresh on the job, but working hard.
Yes.
Very pleased to have you on.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, good. So we were talking about some of the bigger picture things that you're anxious to get working on, and I think that running a city is one thing, and it's what's expected, of course, but some of the bigger picture things. You mentioned workforce housing, so I kind of want to talk about that, and maybe a couple of other things before we close out today. So workforce housing, what do you think we can do as a city to get more involved in that conversation?
Well, the first thing I have to do is continue to reach out to our partners, to our civic partners, and look for opportunities, whether it would be land to help with the price of the whole project, whether it would be planning and zoning, all sorts of things, little things that we can do. But really it's finding partnerships, especially with the federal government, possibly for grants and other things like that. We have a meeting coming up in a couple of weeks with our other city managers and mayors to kind of look at it globally, which I think is very important. It's not a Cottonwood issue. I think it's a Valley issue. So I think just starting that conversation, admitting what we have, looking at inventory, looking at the waiting list a lot of our nonprofits have for people looking for affordable housing, workforce development. So I think I think we have to start somewhere. We start by looking and assessing.
Okay. Did you face any similar issues in Yuma?
We did. We had more issues with low-income housing, which is a little different than workforce housing. But we had a housing authority there that received a significant amount of grants and had a significant amount of properties. They had a waiting list, but again, we had a neighborhood services department that worked very hard on getting those federal monies to help. And then we had some other unique opportunities. Right before the downturn, we had purchased some land that we were able to then lease back or sell back to the housing authority. So they were getting land for a penny or $1 or whatever, I don't remember what the amount was, and able to build houses or apartments on that, and then they would manage them. The last one that they did was a great project. It included a community center that had a kitchen and some computer labs and some other things where they were actually doing workforce development. So they were trade skills and those kinds of things they were doing inside the community center, inside the project. Great plan, beautiful apartments, better than anything I had, and probably until, I was a little older, which is just awesome that these people have these opportunities. It's not free, they're paying rent, but it's able to give them an opportunity to have a place to live and possibly improve their skill set for the next job opportunity.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was something else that was kind of a running theme during the retreat, was the skills and development and training and
for
career tech and all that. So,
right.
Do you have any thoughts on how we could help improve that?
Yeah, the community's really already doing some of that, partnering with Yavapai College and other and the high schools. I was impressed to hear what the elementary school districts and the high school district working together to get people ready, not just for college, but also for trades and other skills, non-college needed skills. So I think we're already started in that direction. We just need to support it and help that out. I think there's a high demand in the Valley for those kinds of workers, and my son-in-law is a welder and works with his hands in the cold in Arkansas, and I'm impressed that what he can do. I mean, I would burn a house down if you put a torch in my hand or something like that. So don't let me near that. So I think that letting people know that those are noble, well-paying jobs these days. He makes a decent living doing that kinds of stuff. So, I love college. I'm college educated, but you don't need that to get ahead. And I think we have to make sure that we message that. I think for years it was go to college or else kind of thing, and I don't believe that to be true.
Okay, I know the county's working on a mentor program, I believe, or not a mentor program. I can't think of the word right now.
It's an internship kind of.
Internship.
program. Yes.
Yeah. Is there any room for that, you think, in Cottonwood?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We received our HR director, Amanda, sent out an email looking for departments that could host these internships. And you know, the nice thing about an internship, they can turn into great employees. Started out in the courts. We hired our IT folks that way.
Okay.
So we found people at the community college, you know, majoring in technology, and they would come here at the end to do their skills training, and we hired a couple of them. They ended up being great employees. One of the assistants that I worked with at the court started out as an intern there and had 25 years in with the county when I left.
Wow.
So it's a great source of good talent, and they learn lots of great things while they work for us.
Good. Well, I hope we get a robust program here in Cottonwood.
It can turn out very well.
Yeah, good. Another thing that came up during the retreat, not as heavy as it did during our previous retreat, but it's certainly top of mind for everyone in the valley, is water resources. Yes. What are your thoughts on that?
We need it.
Yeah.
We need lots of water. I'm learning here. We have a water resources gentleman who helps us out. I think staying in tune with the state legislature, making sure that the valley is well represented in the negotiations to ensure that we have water. It'll always be an issue, but I don't think it's unsurmountable. I don't think it's going to impede growth. You know, I think that Cottonwood has done a great job long before I got here of making sure that we have what we need to develop what we have and to grow. You know, maybe for some it's a crisis. I have yet to see the crises yet, but it's not that there's not a need. It's that you guys have done a great job of working at it and making sure and securing those things that we need to make it happen. Yeah, it's a need. Yuma's was a little different because of the Colorado River versus the Verde watershed. Sure. So the issues were a little different. But again, I think we're well placed. Yeah. We just can't we can't go backwards.
Certainly, yeah, and I would agree. I think, and also we have good, again, community partners here that I think we all have the same common goal.
We do.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on from the retreat or otherwise?
The other thing that I'm excited about is the park potentials. You know, you've got a lot of beautiful green space, and you've got that park already down there. So it'll be interesting to see over the next several months on what develops out of all the park planning and programming that's going on. I think parks help make a community. So it'll be really neat to see what comes out of all that planning. I agree, and I think it's important that we try to, you know, through our parks to message that we are a family-friendly community, and that's where I think we have the greatest opportunity. Bring those young people in. Yep, that's right. Okay, well, that really wraps up our session today. I do appreciate you coming in. My pleasure. Certainly glad to have you on board and have you as part of the team. So glad to be here. Thank you. All right. That wraps up our show today, and we'll see you next month for Inside Cottonwood. Thank you.